trouble I've seen, nobody knows but me. God, there's a reason I was never in choir. Well, look at those two guys up there. Now let's see if they need a ride.
Hey, Ray.
Hey, need a lift?
Sure, we're all going to the same place.
All right.
Right, done.
I don't think so.
Morning.
How you doing?
I'm good. All right, we know where we're going. You guys want to listen to some music?
Sure. Not that one.
Oh, up to you.
In the news, Saskatchewan school divisions continue to work with difficult budget time.
Oh, I think I've heard enough of that too.
This is me in grade 9, baby. This is me in grade 9. This is me in grade 9. This is me in grade 9, baby. This is me in grade 9. I got a blue and red Adidas bag and a humongous binder. I'm trying my best not to look like a minor niner. Wait on for the football team to prove that I'm a man. Guess I should have told that I like Duran Duran. This is me in grade 9, baby. Yeah, this is me in grade 9. This is me in grade 9. This is me in grade 9, baby. This is me in grade 9.
All right, gentlemen, here we are.
Hey, where is everyone?
I don't know, parking's sure not a problem this morning.
Parking lot's in.
Parking lot's empty, nobody's in front. Well, let's go, mate, let's go get the show on the road. Yeah.
Let's go in.
All right. What? You know what, guys? This is just like Minister Morgan's office. Remember that?
Oh, hey, I got a text. Hang on a sec here. Oh, it says we're being interviewed by students this year. I guess we gotta get to the school.
I always prefer students over adults.
All right. Hey guys, can I drive this time?
Not even if you had $1 million.
All right. Let's go.
Students, here we come.
I don't want summer to end. Why are we here?
Well, we are here. I don't want summer to end either, but I'm so glad that we have this opportunity to celebrate the beginning of a new school year. We're in a library recording this, and many of you are probably watching this in your school library, and it's just a marvelous opportunity to reconnect, to touch base with people that you haven't seen for half a dozen weeks, to welcome new staff into your building, to anticipate the new students that are going to be in your classrooms. So it's so exciting at the beginning of the school year because all of the marvelous things that we know will happen have yet to happen. And it's also an opportunity to really sit back and reflect and acknowledge the extraordinary accomplishments of the previous school year. A year in many ways unprecedented in our system, at least within the provincial school system. And we came out of it okay, and we're going to do marvelous things in the future.
Hey, Mr. Morrison, I like that tie. So, my mom works for the school division. She's the one who told me to say that thing about that tie. And so, I hear there's going to be change this year. But what exactly is that change?
That's a good question. There'll be quite a bit changing in the school division this fall. Hopefully, very few of them you'll notice in the classroom. As a result of a very difficult budget in the spring, certainly the toughest one I've had to deal with. We had to eliminate some positions, some staff have changed jobs, some have retired, but at the end of the day, as I said, I think we've managed to protect the classroom so that students and staff should notice minimal, if any, impact there. There will be some changes in the operations and the way we do things around the division, but again, at the end of the day, they should be relatively transparent in the classroom.
What do you want our youngest students to learn in their first years of school?
Well, there's an old saying, and it says that everything you needed to know you learned in kindergarten. And I think that holds true here with our youngest learners. Most important, early on in their school life, we want kids to become independent. We want students to be able to do things for themselves. For example, tie their shoes, go to the washroom, go to play at recess, all of those kind of things. In addition to that, we want our young people to learn how to get along with others and to show themselves, their classmates, and all of the adults in their life the respect. In terms of learning, most importantly early on, we want our students to learn their alphabet, to learn the letters, how to recognize the letters and the sounds of the alphabet as well. And we know that will help them prepare to learn how to read, which we will work with our students on later on in kindergarten and the beginning of grade 1. And lastly, most importantly, we want our young people to learn to love school and to love to learn.
Our school has a lot of students and has for a long time. What are you doing about it?
That's a really good question. I would hope that this fall, when staff and students get back in school, that they'll notice that there's significantly less pressure in many schools. We're opening 4 brand new elementary schools in Saskatoon this fall, first time ever. And on that note, I would like to thank all of the students, parents, staff, and everyone involved in providing their ideas in the design of those schools. They're great learning facilities. I've had the chance to be in all of them, and I'm excited to see them full of students and full of energy.
Sometimes I find math really hard. How can the teachers help me to understand it better?
Well, I'm really glad you asked me that question because mathematics is my favorite subject. In terms of mathematics teaching and learning, what our teachers will need to do early on is find out what a student's strengths are in the area of mathematics and what some of the challenges are. In order to do that, we've developed these wonderful tools called Math Quick Screeners. They provide teachers with an opportunity to get a snapshot of each individual student at the curriculum level to determine what they're capable of doing and what some of their needs are at that particular grade level. In addition to that, we want our mathematics learners to be able to work together. We want them to learn from each other, and we want them to communicate their learning to each other in a cooperative way. In addition to that, we want our students to believe in their ability to do mathematics. We want them to have a positive mindset around the subject and feel confident that they can achieve and do their very best.
Sometimes in our lean on, lean on.
I've heard a lot of talk about public education. What does that mean?
Public education, a complex issue. I'll try to provide a simple answer. Public education in Saskatchewan is certainly unique. We have an obligation to society to educate children. And people have said that public education is the foundation of a democratic society. What makes us different as a public system is we have an obligation to accept any student who comes to our door. We don't have the ability to discriminate on any terms or to turn students away. And so that's what makes us an organization that embraces all students and is welcoming to everyone. In addition to that, anyone can apply to be a teacher in our school division, can apply to be an employee in our school division, can move through the system and become a senior leader in the school system. And in fact, if people choose to, they can run to become an elected member of the board of trustees of the school division. So, the public education truly is the most grassroots form of democracy.
I love to write. How will my teachers help me become a better writer?
Well, your teachers will help you become a better writer by allowing you the opportunity to write every single day when you're at school. They want you to write about things that you love and things that you're interested in. They also want you to write in response to some of the things that you've read. In terms of giving you feedback on your writing, many of our teachers participated in professional development sessions last year where they took a look at writing rubrics that have been developed by the province that will be used in all of our classrooms.
I'm grateful for my teacher. What are you grateful for?
Well, I have a tremendous number of things to be grateful for because I get to work for Saskatoon Public Schools and I get to work on behalf of the community to try and deliver the very best possible education in a publicly funded school division. I'm so grateful for the people in our organization, all of the staff, our teachers, our caretakers, our educational assistants, our administrative assistants, all the people who support from central office roles. There's just an extraordinary number of individuals that lean into the harness every year to try and do their very best for the young people in our community, because we collectively, the 2,500 or so of us that are gathered in various places around the system today, we are parents. We have children in the system. We are members of the community. We have vested interests in outstanding results in public education. And so I'm very grateful that I get to work with a group like this to try and bring that home in the best possible way. I'm also, I have to tell you, how grateful I am for our elected trustees who absolutely believe in you. They believe in us. They believe that we are doing the very best we can with the resources that we've got, and that we're going to continue to work to get better in the future, because by definition, everything we do can be tweaked and improved and adjusted to meet the needs of our current students. So I've got many things to be grateful for.
Hi, Mr. Scriven. There are so many options in high school. How do high schools help students explore and succeed?
Well, that's a really good question. Our high schools work very closely with all of their students when they register to pick the courses that they need and that they like in order to graduate. Teachers work really hard in our secondary schools to build connections with students and ensure that they have a sense of belonging and they feel welcome. Every teacher will work with each individual student to find out what their learning needs are, what interests them, what their learning strengths are, and what are some of the areas that they would like help on. Most importantly, teachers will provide feedback on their work, which will help your teachers better meet each individual student's learning needs. In terms of options at school, there are many curricular options in Saskatoon Public Schools, and our schools do a wonderful job of providing all our students with wonderful extracurricular opportunities that help enrich their school experience.
We have talked a lot in class about the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. What is the school division doing to answer the call to action?
Well, the first thing we did, of course, was to develop a school division response to the calls to action of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And I'm so impressed with both the number and kind of different activities and curriculum-related instructional approaches in the classroom to try and bring this home, to try and enact the changes that we're looking for in our society. Things like Orange Shirt Day that really are about raising awareness. The blanket exercise that's been conducted with many staffs to try and develop an understanding of what it means to live in a country that's experienced colonialism and still deals with the remnants of that colonial background. What does it mean to try to indigenize our schools, to indigenize our classrooms, to make it accessible to everybody in the room?
What's your goal for all the teachers and staff?
You know, I think my goal for the staff in the school division this year is to have them stay focused on the classroom and what's important. And the reason that we're all here is to help educate students and make them contributing members to our society. There has been and there will continue to be lots of noise, political noise. There'll be noise about budgets. And I would just hope that you can keep that in the background and not let it distract you from what's really important in the work that you do every day.
Teachers always start the year telling us what to expect with our classes. Mr. McDougall, what are you looking forward to this year?
Well, there's tremendous cause for excitement in the school division. Anytime you open 4 new schools and all of the marvelous activities that will be going on to build those school communities in those neighborhoods will add so much to the life of the school division. And I also want to mention all of those schools where students have moved on to the new schools, an opportunity to reinvent themselves, to say, okay, who is it that we are now with a smaller school population, different kind of parent groups that are part of the community? What are we going to do to really make our mark in Saskatoon Public Schools? In the last year, we've made significant steps around bandwidth, a really mundane issue, but when I go out to schools and I visit with teachers, they talk about the fact that they don't have to worry when they're going to log on a classroom to try something like Mathletics or some of the other programs that are out there. So we're looking for ways that the integration of technology can really make a difference in the instructional strategies in the classroom to elevate what we're doing in every classroom in the school system. And finally, I think one of the things that we're really looking forward to is aspiring to live the ideals of a public education system in a democratic society. We're going to be doing some pilot work with the human rights curriculum support materials, and you can look to see that in lots of classrooms around our school system as we live up to those ideals of public education.
I love books. What are you going to do to help me become a better reader?
Well, in order to help you become a better reader, we're going to give you lots of books to read. You can find books in libraries such as this or in your classroom library. Also, teachers are going to model good reading habits for you as well. They're going to read on their own, and they're also going to read in the classroom to you and with you. Also, after you've read a book, our teachers are going to conference with you. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to find out what you liked about the book and whether you understood the material in the book as well. Also, we're going to ask your parents to read with you on a regular basis. It's so important for students to be able to read at home and have these conversations with their parents on a regular basis.
I was wondering, there's been a lot of talk on the news about education in the province. So what does this mean for me and my school?
Well, the budget is obviously the one thing that seems to affect everybody in society, particularly in a taxpayer-funded organization like Saskatoon Public Schools. So we've done our very best to try to protect the classroom with keeping the same PTR, increasing the number of educational assistants. There are other cuts that people will feel. There have been cuts to various functions that will impact the classroom, but we've tried to look after the core of the work. And we heard that from you in the budget consultations. So thank you very much for your participation in that. Going ahead, we're going to do our very best to try and meet the lofty goals around graduation rates in the province of Saskatchewan. And that's going to mean focusing on things like basic measures of engagement, like being in school, attendance. So you're going to hear things like attendance matters around all of our schools. We're going to be looking at outcomes-based assessment and making sure that we give students the opportunity to demonstrate their competence in every possible circumstance. And I think really importantly, as we go forward in difficult times when resources are constricted, we need to continue to walk the walk when it comes to elevating the field of education and the role of professional teachers in education. We have outstanding people, and we need to make sure that the public in general understands what an outstanding teacher can bring to the life of a student. I see it on a regular basis. People come up and tell me when they're talking about their child's experience in our schools, their students' high school experience, how important individual teachers and programs have been in their students' lives. And it's something we absolutely have to keep focusing on and reminding the public of how essential we are to the health of the entire community.
As board chair, what do you want our students to be?
That's a good question. I think as a board, we, at the end of the day, want our students to exemplify the values of this school division of respect, excellence, joy, and responsibility. And to be responsible young people, not only as a part of our society once they graduate, but in their community, in the school, and in their home as they're growing up and finding their way through the school system and getting their education. I don't think that most students understand the power that they have to make this world a better place, and I would hope that, that as they move their way through the education system, that they exercise that power.
It's a new day and a new year. Shout it out loud, sing with the crowd. Celebrate 'cause good things are coming. New opportunities are at the door. Hold your head up, drop the sorrow. No regrets now for tomorrow. It's a new chance for a new life. Everything you've been waiting for. The future's bright now as things turn over. The possibilities around the corner. New innovation with new creation. All the good things that we have in store. Now it's a brand new day, and it's a brand new year. And there is hope in tomorrow. Now there's nothing to fear. It's not coming yet, it's already here. Now it's a brand new day, and it's a brand new year. So sing and be happy and share the good cheer. It's not coming yet, it's already here. Yeah. It's time to dream bigger dreams, where impossible is not hard as it seems, and live in high hopes throughout your day, and know that happiness is quickly on its way. We're moving forward, we're going higher, we're reaching things that we formerly just desired. Fun and excitement, it fills the air, and there's more than enough for us to share. Now it's a brand new day, and it's a brand new year. And there is hope in tomorrow. Now there's nothing to fear. It's not coming yet, it's already here. Yeah, it's a brand new day, and it's a brand new year. And there is hope in tomorrow. Now there's nothing to fear. It's not coming yet, it's already here. Yeah, it's a brand new day, and it's a brand new year. So sing and be happy and share the good cheer. It's not coming yet, it's already here. Hey, 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 hey.
Okay, you guys, you need to do an outtakes video. Where's the rubber glove? I can blow it up over my head. Okay.
And somebody says out of order, I got Al Pacino going. You're out of order. I'm out of order.
Just want you to know that I have been known to hold a grudge and get even.
Noted I only took one take on my first question. We mark that down?
Take 2 with the 3 musical geniuses in the vehicle.
What we did wrong.
That's the camera does. All right, I think our take was good.
You guys weren't singing.
I was bobbing. Ed was bobbing.
And we'd like to thank the Academy for, That was good. That was good.